Seriously?
Don't move too much. Don't move at all.
Okay.
He deserves a round of applause just for this.
Yes, many engineers.
I was gonna say, okay, just finish. You go.
Okay,
just kidding.
How many engineers does it take to make a presentation work? So, hi guys. My name is Carlos Mota. I've been developing Android applications for quite some time now. And on the last year, I found something very interesting. That's Android TV. This is probably one of the biggest titles for a presentation. Android TV Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Also a very good movie. You guys should watch it. And let me start by asking you guys a question. How many of you love to watch series? It's easier, I know. Okay. How many of you guys are a big fan of Game of Thrones or other series, and sometimes you hear this? Or worst part, I'm going to my Twitter or my Facebook and someone spoils me right away. I've unfriended too much guys thanks to that. So everyone likes to watch TVs, to watch series. Unfortunately, we don't have a good approach on this on our current TVs. We have Mel or Nosh, and we have a large set-top box, and the experience is just horrible. They have a really nice feature that is like I can go back 7 days and to watch something that was on the TV, but it's awful. It's really, really slow, and I have to press like 10 times to go to the right, then I'm going to series, then it loads everything is slow, and after half an hour I start to read a book. It's really painful. These some rough numbers. These numbers are from American. On European, you're like 4 hours. 40 minutes on mobile, this is when we go to the bathroom usually, and 25 minutes on the computer. This is roughly 5 billion hours watched daily worldwide. This means that for the next 15 years, we're just watching TVs. And we don't have that kind of movies on the IMD 250 database, 215 list. It's a really, really long time. Although we have the first TV was sold in 1928, TV had come such a long way, and we don't only now, only on the past 10 years, we notice something different. TV is changing. On 53, we had the first smartwatch, which is Android. It could be changing this TV with his watch, but it's just synchronizing it. Then we have VCR in 72, and it was awesome. We could tape everything until the tape worked. Then on 94, we had the first real experience within the interactive TV. It was from Full Service Network, and it was like a small set-top box that were really, really expensive, and you could order pizza. Finally, in 07, Steve Jobs, as an hobby, as he said, introduced Apple to TV, and the world changed. Now we have smart TVs. We have one from LG, Panasonic, Samsung. Almost every competitor has one, and this is a really strong problem. Each one has its own SDK. So if I want to develop for Samsung, I have to read this low and small documentation from Samsung. Then if I want to do something for Sony, I have to read our documentation, implement it, and I waste a lot of time doing this. And another thing, I have a Samsung TV, and I have the YouTube app there. And when I tried to browse some videos that are not on my subscription list, I have a message that says, okay, you should do that on your computer, it's easier. The app itself says this. Okay, for that I can have Google Cast, for instance, and just stream the video. It's way easier. We're not taking fully advantage of our TVs. Come on, it's like a 40 screen, and you can do everything. It's always connected to the internet. Why don't we have something working? And this was Google approach. Last year they introduced the Android TV, and they've done an excellent job. It's a really smooth experience. Okay, we still have an issue here that we need to have a set-top box for this, and if you already have Mail or NOS set-top box, we'll end up with 2 set-top box. But this one, it's really worth it. For start, we have a single APK. Okay, you can develop for mobiles, you can develop for tablets, you can develop for glasses, for auto, and now you can develop for TV. Imagine, you can reuse the old code. It's just awesome. You only have to change the UI and of course give it a really smooth and nice interaction. Again, and I will repeat this over and over, I don't want to have to press 10 times one button to watch a series. Come on, TV, it's an immersive experience. I want to press the minimum number of buttons to achieve this. I want to go to my sofa and just press on the button and the TV is open, and even better, I have recommendations from my TV. I have everything there. So, guys, let me introduce you Android TV. This is really bad. Seriously. Okay, this is Breaking Bad. It shows me the details about Breaking Bad. Okay, this is the resume. We have all the information about Breaking Bad here, and then we will have rows. We have a recommendation row. This typically works as notifications. It's the app that should say, okay, it will be the next episode of Breaking Bad will be there. We still have the first card. It's the what's playing at this moment. So let's imagine I was watching a series and I decided to go to other app. That first card, it's what I'm seeing on the moment. So if I'm on the home screen, I just want to have a direct way to access. And then here we have my top apps, okay? I know that my friends will find this really odd that I have cooking as my first app. I fear my next dinners. But here you can see that depending, there can be 10 people using the same applications. But my home screen, let's call that, will have this difference, okay? These applications are ordered depending on how I'm using my Android TV. So it seems I'm a huge fan of it, 24. Okay, once again, developing for Android TV, it's really different than developing for a smartphone or a tablet. First, you'll always have to take into account this, the distance for your TV. Typically, a 14-inch TV screen are like 2 meters away. So please do not focus on having really small letters on the TV, okay? I want for those guys on the last row to be capable of reading this. I don't want to be closing my eyes or going to the TV just to press some things. So please take advantage of having a way larger screen. Then you can always be connected to the internet. It's fantastic, okay? You have a smart set-top box, okay? You can take advantage of always being connected to the TV. You don't have to have all the information on your box. You can have a small cache, of course. We want the experience to be as smooth as possible, but you can just grab the information from the internet, okay? Also, there is no screen rotation. Come on, you guys don't have your TV under your arms and you just put on portrait, so you only have to care about landscape mode. Most of them are not touchable, okay? Please don't go there, and it doesn't happen. And you have a remote control to use. If you guys remember the trackball, it's a similar experience. So, accessibility. Always take in mind, it's not a tablet. It's not a tablet in landscape, and it's not touchable. These are the 3 key main points when developing for Android TV or for any TV. Here you have a small example. Okay, imagine you have 4 buttons, 5 with a D-pad center, okay, to select something, and let's imagine that you are in this row, okay? You want to go to the search button up there. Okay, you have to develop everything to take as less actions possible. So ideally, I will make a long press here, and I'm almost there with like 1 to 2 seconds the most. I don't want to press up here, and then I go here, and then when I press again, I go to the top of this row, and then I press up, and I'm going here, and I'm always filling the entire rows, following the entire rows. I want to take the less actions possible. Okay, I'm on the sofa. Usually, I'm laying down. I don't leaning back. I don't want to be pressing just a bunch of keys. So typically on Android, the first time that we add this with trackballs, you usually have to define that the component is focusable in touch mode, and then to define each action for each component, meaning that if I press left, I want to go to that component. If I'm going up, I want to go to that component. And you saw the previous example, the number of items I have here, right? Imagine doing that for all. So let's try to develop an application from scratch, okay? Always keep in mind that it's developing for TV. I developed a small demo for this talk. Hope you guys enjoyed. It took me like 2 months. I'm just kidding. I don't have music here. Vicente wants to sing a bit. I think I need some background music. Remember that every component has to have the right, up, left, bottom actions, everything. See how smooth this is? Just changing screens. Guys, this is developing for the 21st century. I'm just streaming a live video from Google I/O. Just pressing forward a couple of times. That introduction is really, really big. To have more, you can integrate with Facebook, for instance. And I'm liking this video, and it will open on my Facebook wall. Okay, this is me. I want it to be on the big screen. But I don't want to be the only one, so they're here too. I'm hoping that I will go back to Brazil with you. See the background changing? And see how fast I can just scroll. Oh guys, and this is recorded from an emulator, okay? This emulator comes with Android with the SDK, and this was recorded on the computer, so you can expect an higher, well, by the way, an higher, to be much more faster on running on a real TV, okay? So this app is available on the Google Play. And although this was developed for TV, you can run it on tablets. It's optimized for tablets. And this, no, this wasn't done on 1 month, and you'll just see why. But first, please take a look that, okay, so we have an application, okay, this is a customized list view, okay. I have to select, when the item is selected, it gets bigger, okay. Then I move to the right, I have an horizontal scroll view. This horizontal list view, doesn't exist on Android, I have to implement it. Then it's customized to have different cells, okay? Everything here is customizable. Then I have a button, I have to define all these actions. Then I have 2 fragments that have to communicate with each other, okay? So you saw that when I go to the right, when I'm on the list row and I go to the right, everything collapsed. Yes, this adds such great animations. So I have to implement everything, because usually on Android you have. And then I have to define each movement of each cell, and this is awful, okay? This application took me 2 nights. 2 really long nights, okay? But this is possible to do in a really, with really less effort. So guys, I present you the lean back support library. This is done on Android. It comes with the SDK 21. And you can do everything that I've shown you here. And if you think you will have several applications with the same look, no, okay? You can override everything. This is one of the biggest advantages. It only defines the guidelines. I can override themes, I can override all the components, and I can have my brand there, following Android TV guidelines. So it will be really difficult to have 2 apps looking the same. Android already gave us several fragments that we can use. Okay, it saves us a lot of time. Okay, the first one that you see where you could select the GDG DevFest. This is a guided step fragment. Then I have the browse fragment to search again on the different categories on my application. We have the details fragment over there, the search fragment, a full bleed version of the details fragment. Come on. I know. You're jealous, Android TV rocks.
I thought it was on purpose.
Yeah, see guys, this is...
60.
I wanted to bring the 60 back. Okay, I'll be really slow right here. So guys, where I was. Okay, you have the full bleed mode, okay? And then you have the, okay, TVs was developer to watch TV, so we have a playback overlay fragment with everything already done for you guys, okay? You just have to implement with your third-party apps, no problem here. So what we have here, with Android TV and with lean-back support, we have a TV optimized experience. Okay, we have a really defined architectural model. Okay, this is MVP. I know that on the previous talk you said that Android lack of having a really rigid architecture. Here we have on lean-back, we have a model view presenter. We don't have the view controller. We have already pre-built fragments. You can have consistency across different Android TVs, so the experience that I have when developing for one TV, it will be the same when developing for the other. It's really fast developer, high performance, and it's just gorgeous to have this library. Everything is smooth, everything works just fine. Okay, this is, I'm going to be a bit boring here. So this is the Android manifest for you guys that's already program Android. You already know this. We have small difference here. We have to set that we are going to use lean-back and we don't require a device with touch capability support, okay? The other difference is usually we have defined Android icon. Here we have a banner, okay? You can define both, and for that the application will run on tablets, on smartphones. It's a really awful experience to have the same application. But it will run smoothly on even tablets or Android TV. And here, instead of defining our category as launcher, we define it as lean-back launcher. Okay. Here we have that model view presenter model. So we have a view, okay, that will receive either touch events or either some speaker events, and then this information is sent to the presenter. Okay, we have something similar with this with the recycler views. Okay, every click action is defined on the presenter, and then we will decide what we're going to do with that data. For instance, let's assume that we've just pressed on one of those videos. I will get more information from these videos for the model. Since the information is, for instance, online, I can just throw some threads to get a larger image. I will return, for instance, the URL to my presenter in order to update my view with a really simple to do. Here we have the browse fragment. Okay, this is a typically multi-pane layout with a standard navigation design. So we have a category on the left that we can just browse. Here we have all the contents on that category, and the main function of this is to access the entire information that your application has easily. Okay, we have a set of categories, and we have this information per category. Okay, nice. Okay, just giving you a bit of feedback on how you can achieve this. Typically, with a lean-back support, you have an array object adapter. This means that every content on your application will be created with this. Okay, everything. So you just need to create a new list row presenter, and then put everything on there, like you typically do with a list view. We do that with this array object adapter. So we create a list row with an header and with the content, and we just add it. You'll see it's really easy. Okay. New object adapter. We have a type list row presenter. We say which is the title of the header. We can also define an icon, and then we get the information from the speakers list, and we just add it to the rows adapter, and then we set it. Really easy. Here we have a card presenter. This is the video. When the view binds with the card, we want to set the title, the content, the main image, and its dimensions, for instance. Okay? Really easy. Of course, I can have a lot more content to show. In that case, I will set everything here. Don't forget to, when you exit, when it unbinds, to put it null. You see how the background is changing? The user typically don't want to watch static content. Okay, we have the selected rows to get a bit bigger, but we want to update the entire TV. So it's also really important when developing for the TV to have a really great design. Remember, this is a really large screen, and usually it's HD, and we are very picky when we have HD. So once again, this is really easy. We just have to set the selected listener, and then to see if the type of item selected, and then what I've done here is to create a background timer. So if I'm pressing like 10 times the right button, I don't want to set 10 times the same image. Okay, remember, although it's a set-top box, I still have limited resources. Okay, so I've defined it like 300 milliseconds update, and if I select a different component during that interval, it will only update if in between that interval. Okay, here you have the details fragment, typically for when we want more information about a specific type. And during this latest I/O, Google introduced the full bleed version. Okay, you can typically the first one it's usually used when you want to introduce more information. For instance, let's assume that we could ranking this talk. Okay, we could have okay. Let's assume that we want to rank this talk. Typically this one is more used for that, to express more information, or to have a classification of on IMDb, for instance, or Rotten Tomatoes. That information usually goes to this more minimalist version of the details fragment, although you have a full bleed mode anyway. Once again, you have that custom array object adapter, and then we define a class presenter with its detail overviews and list row presenter. This is just to say that, guys, this is easy. Okay. A few more informations. You can set title, subtitle, description, list row as we defined previously. It's really easy. Once again, we create a class, the details class. We set a list, and then we set the rows adapter. Okay. And then I just add a bunch of items to fill it. In this case, it was my information on Twitter, on Google Talk, on Google Plus, on LinkedIn, etc. Once we set an item click listener to, in this case, to open a web view with this information. This is the playback control fragment, one of the most important on our app. Usually our app is for the TV, So we have to give special attention to this. So this can control our actions, it gives us quick access to related videos, and it allows us to integrate with third parties. If you see those components side by side, this one is just an extension of that one. Okay, you see that the components are really similar, and we can have a really different look depending on what we're extending and what we want to create. If you see here, we have the same list rows, okay, and we have the same details fragment, but in this case we set the actions to be the button actions to be related with the movie, and of course this activity is different. We have a video view here to play the content. Okay, this is the most tricky one. Okay, we have several fragments here. We have that video view. We have the playback overlay fragment that's similar to the details, but it's on top. Okay, the video is still playing, and this command only appears when you select it. Okay, it's the same experience you have when watching a video on QuickTime and the bar opens. To play a video on Android TV, it's a bit different. Okay, we have to acquire the media session. Okay, and if you want to play video, you have to acquire the audio focus first, meaning that okay, you have several applications that deal with audio or with video, and they could be using the audio focus, for instance, to streaming music on the background. Okay, so if I want to play video, I first have to acquire the audio focus, and to be fair, you also have to abandon it when another application asks for it. And once you have it, you can do anything you want to play video. You have to set a media session callback, meaning that when you receive these events, for instance, you have to do something with it. In this case, we'll play a video. Okay, we check the ID of that video and just play it. We update the video view, and we have on SIG2 just pressing forward to a specific position. Another example that is skip to the next item. Okay, we're just going to search on our list for the next item, and then just play video from media ID, and it will automatically play. Of course, that if we are changing another video, we want to update the media data. Okay, also really easy. And finally, we want to set a bunch of controls just to access the video, to play, pause, back, forward, etc. We can even integrate it with another third-party library. For instance, the Facebook. We can, when you press the like button, we can integrate it with Facebook, opening a guided step fragment and putting on your wall that you love, the Google I/O. Here we can, okay, the actions are defined here. Okay, so when you press the play button, you want to set the media control that handles with it. And when there's some kind of update on the media controller, okay, we just want to update the video. Okay, I know this is a bunch of theory and it's really a bit difficult to follow, so I've designed here an image so you guys can understand better. Okay, if I want to skip to next element, I just press the button. Okay, I have my media controller callback defined at UI level on playback control fragment that in turn will trigger that event to every media session callback that's listening to it. This is typically on the activity level, and when this is triggered, the activity will be updated. Okay, so we have an activity with a video view, okay, that will play the video content, and we have an overlay fragment that's the actions that control that video. This is different layers, and they need to interact with each other through this media session. We also have a notification manager. This is our recommendation system. Typically an application should post 3 notifications stop, being the fourth one the play. Okay, I was watching a movie, I exit the app for some kind of reason, so on the first row I will set my application to resume the video. This is the same logic that we use when creating a notification on the mobile. Okay, I just set title, action, content to be ongoing or not, and then I can also put an extra to define the background when I select that action. Finally, I have a search fragment which allows me, let's see, we have an application with lots of video. I want to search for a particular video, okay? I need to have a search option. I don't want to be going to the navigation through and through and through until I find what I want. Okay, this is again pretty easy. We have that list row, we have a card presenter, and how can we achieve this? Once again, we have array object adapter, we set a search criteria, and we set a search delay. So for instance, if the user is typing, I don't want to make this search like for each letter he types, okay? So we usually give a 300 milliseconds waiting time, and then we just get these items and return it and set on that list row. So some pitfalls to avoid: never lose focus, okay? Remember that I don't want to lose where my focus item is. I don't want for it to go out of the screen, and then I'm going, oh, okay, so which navigation arrow should I press? Always provide easy shortcuts for common actions.
The product itself. I saw your application and how to develop applications for Google TV, or Android TV, but where is the TV? Because I didn't see any TV here, and what is the integration with my current cable provider? I think that this is the most important thing for a product like this. And the other thing is how the second question is how accounts are being managed, because my TV is shared by 4 people in my house.
Okay, fair question. The first question is what's really limiting the process here. Okay, we have a really strong limitation. That's that cable operators, they usually have their own set-top box, the old set-top box that usually don't allow us to do much, and it's really slow. Here it's the same problem that we have with Apple TV. We need another set-top box, so meaning that you need another remote. The Google goals here is to have a single set-top box that cable providers could use, and they're developing Android TV with the goal that they can promote channels, so they stop. I'd rather prefer that you guys. Okay.
I guess then. Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you.
So the next talk, we will see something that I honestly never have heard before Andrew submitted his talk. Probably you won't have heard it too before you saw it on our schedule. It's gonna be fun, I promise you, because he has shown us what he's gonna do, so, or at least a bit. So just a quick note.